Okay, so we're back to the next set of videos, and what we're actually going to be doing here is actually going through some of the things in book 4, hidden traffic formula, hidden depths. Just let me say that during this DVD I'm probably going to be a little controversial. I don't mean rude, I mean I'm probably going to upset one or two people that are currently using traffic exchanges and criticize the way that they're working, which I kind of did in one of the other videos. But what we're actually going to do here now is take you through a scenario which most traffic exchange owners are probably not going to like. But hey, this is for your benefit, not for theirs. And that's exactly what using TEs should be about. It should be about what works best for you. Okay, right? Now, most traffic exchange owners will want you to surf a lot. And that's fine. Without people who surf traffic exchanges, the whole thing falls apart. It's a balancing act, if you like, between those people who surf, those people that buy credits, etc., etc. But what we're talking about here is dominating the traffic exchanges. So I'm going to go through one of the things that you need to do to dominate. Okay, right. Surfing for life. And this is kind of what most people do, is they feel that they have to surf to earn their credits. It's not one of the most exciting things you can do in your life. So people get fed up and they stop, and they don't surf very much, or they take days off, and etc., etc. And so they end up with the situation that we talked about in one of the early videos, is that they dilute the amount of effort they got. Now, there's nothing wrong with surfing, and as we go through some of the stats here, you need to learn where to surf and when to surf. As opposed to when to buy and not to surf, and we'll go through those as we come into the stats. But here's the thing: if you in book 4, and I'm going to read some of the page here, surfing for credits is a good place to start, and it can even be useful as a means of keeping your finger on the pulse of the traffic exchange industry. But every hour you spend surfing for credits is an hour you could have spent doing something more productive, things like improving your sales copy, networking with other marketers, creating new campaigns, etc. Surfing TEs on a regular basis can suck you in and allow you to feel busy and productive. You put the time in, you watch your stash of credits go up, and you feel that you've accomplished something, and perhaps you have. But the number of credits you can earn in an hour by surfing can easily be purchased for less than $5. And that's the key point here, right? If you set up the sales process, right, the monetization part of things we've been talking about, then $5 or $10 a thousand becomes a very small amount of money. And we're going to go through some of the campaigns and use words like cost of acquisition, lifetime value of a customer, etc. And we're going to put those in simple terms. And I'm going to show you with the stats exactly what we mean and how I interpret those stats in order to make the decision whether I buy or surf. There are going to be some people that say that I very rarely surf. And that's true. That's because I have the resources not to have to surf. I can make the decision, yes, I really ought to surf here, but I have the money, so I'm going to spend it. If you're starting out, knowing when to surf, when to buy, and when to combine the two in order to get a maximum amount of a traffic exchange is a very useful thing to know, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about. Now then, I see this often asked question in forums, and in fact in the hot conference room that we do on Wednesdays, which you're going to be joining us now, aren't you? And that question is this: how do we know which exchanges are worth upgrading? There are so many choices. It's a good question. And one of the answers I see given is, hey man, choose the ones you enjoy surfing in most. You know, you're spending some time doing this, so have some fun. Choose the ones you enjoy. Wrong answer. £10 penalty. Okay? Surfing the ones you enjoy as opposed to surfing the ones that work is kind of nuts, don't you think, huh? And this is where we come on to lifetime values and customer costs, compare and repeat, etc. This is how we find out which of those traffic exchanges are the ones worth surfing in and worth buying credits in. These terms usually put people off and think, oh my God, I'm never going to find out the lifetime value. I don't know what the customer cost is, and how do I find that out, and all that stuff. Well, the answer is tracking, and all of this stuff comes up through this course at all. Tracking is mentioned multiple times, and again, tracking is one of those things that confuse people. Oh God, I don't know how to track. It's too much trouble. Blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And I'm going to show you now how really simple it is. As long as I get the technical part of this part, yay! So what we're actually now is in one of my accounts at HitchConnect. Again, in the books we give you several examples or several alternatives for tracking. But let me just say, in traffic exchanges, HitchConnect is probably your best bet. This is not a free to join resource. It does belong to me, and I would say that, wouldn't I? But let me just tell you, HitchConnect was designed specifically for me to use to track all of this in traffic exchanges. It will track other stuff. It's designed to be a general tracking service, but it was designed specifically so I can go through and find out all of these bits and pieces that I'm about to be telling you about. Okay, so let me just get the cost out of the way. That's $11.97 a month, but there is a special offer for you guys, which is in your doc somewhere or when you log in. So if you decide to go to HitchConnect route, then just log in and find it. But that's not what we're here for. Let's just look at these stats. Okay, this is the stats for a month, and I've been specifically doing campaigns in some traffic exchanges on a single URL, so I can get some good stats to show you here. And actually, doing that, I've had a couple of surprises for myself, and it's actually reinforced some of the things I've been saying over the last 18 months. And actually it's proven me right. Yay! Most people, right, look at these two numbers here, which is the total and the uniques. And they judge a traffic exchange based on the number of uniques. Now, if we look at this one here, ClickCrazy, which I half own, and see that it's produced 12,991 hits, and only 563 unique. That immediately looks as though that is a very poor traffic exchange. If you don't know the other piece of the puzzle, that's going to give you a really false reading. Because if we go over here in sales, actions, and conversions, you can see that they've actually given us 11 sign-ups. And this, for instance, this is another traffic exchange. This is actually to my AKH traffic exchange. Now I know what you're going to say. Okay, you're advertising another traffic exchange. In traffic exchanges, that's bound to work. And as we go through this, I'm actually going to take you to another site which isn't a traffic exchange, because I knew that question would come up, and show you that the values are the same over there. So let's just carry on with this thing. Okay, so ClickCrazy, 12,991 page views, only 563 uniques. That sounds really bad, and most people will now dump ClickCrazy, unless they knew the next piece of the puzzle, which is 11 sales actions and conversions. Now this is because it's just going into one of my programs, okay, and I have control of the thank you page, so I can track the conversion rate, which is a whole other reason why you shouldn't be sending people directly to any affiliate program in traffic exchanges. You should be sending them to your pages to get up onto your list first, and then emailing them afterwards, because so you know this piece of the puzzle. So let's just work that out, okay? And I got a calculator in front of me. 12,000. Let's turn it on first. 12,991 page views, and divide that by the number of sign-ups, 11. Now that works out that one sign-up every 1,181 page views, which is abysmal. Until you go and look to see, right, how much credits actually cost you at ClickCrazy. And it's about $5 per thousand. So in that case, the cost of acquisition for each of those 11 people that you signed up was $5. And that sounds quite a lot. But I happen to know that advertising know-how gives me a return of $2.65 for every person that goes through in there. So you've made a 50% loss on the upfront campaign in ClickCrazy. So what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that, okay, those unique stats aren't very good and the cost of acquisition is quite high. Maybe this is one of the places that I need to surf and buy. Because if you buy half those credits and surf the other half, that brings the cost of acquisition down to a profit. Because now you're only paying $2.50 per new sign up, and you're getting $2.67 per person that goes through AKH on average. That doesn't seem like a huge amount of profit here, but let's remember what we're doing. We're actually building a list. So you have actually made a profit on building your list. You're making more money than you're spending on building your list in the first place, and that's only the upfront sell. You have to remember that these people are on their list for anything up to a year or 2 years, or some of them permanently. So you'll be making other promotions to them in order to make that money back. I always look at this. If I don't mind making a loss on the initial promotion like this. Break even is better, and of course, if you make a profit, even better. Is better actually a word? Oh well. Because you're not looking at the cost of upfront or the money you've made initially. Remember that most of the money you make online are going to be from what we call the back-end sales process. That's after the initial contact has been made. And here, even if you only use ClickCrazy for the rest of your life, you could break even on the initial list building process and then make your profit afterwards in the email series. So I've highlighted one there where it's if you know all the numbers, you can actually work out a strategy for using it. ClickCrazy is one of those traffic exchanges that you're probably better off combining surfing and purchasing, and you surf in order to get down the cost of credits there. Okay, so let's move on to another example. Let's look at the very best one here in the sales actions and conversion, which is Traffic Splash. 25 sign-ups, subscribers. And if we go up here and actually look at the numbers, now these numbers are much, much better. 3,311 page views, 1,704 which are unique. That's a unique percentage of about 55%, and 25 sign-ups. So let's work out what that is. Just bear with me a second so that I can find that. 331, and divide that by the number of sign-ups, 25. Now that means you're getting a new subscriber every 132 page views in Traffic Splash. Now that's as good as any pay-per-click campaign. I mean, think about that for a minute. Some pay-per-click campaigns don't even make that kind of those kind of numbers. One new subscriber for every 132 page views. So let's work out the cost of acquisition in Traffic Splash, 3,311, and I'm going to work on an average here of $10 per thousand, unless I know differently. And some of these I do. In Traffic Splash, so that would cost you on average $33 to buy that many credits, and you would have got 25 sign-ups. That's a cost of acquisition of $1.32 per person. And don't forget, we already know that in this particular promotion, we make an average of $2.67 per person that comes through. That's 100% profit, pretty much. And that's 100% profit on your initial list building process. This doesn't count what happens afterwards when you send out that email series. So as you can see, you can easily find hotspots. Now, what would I do with Traffic Splash? Well, I'll tell you this now, and the owner here will probably get a little upset with me, but hey, I would not surf at Traffic Splash. I would not waste my time surfing at Traffic Splash. I would spend the money, and I would put as many credits as I could through Traffic Splash without ever surfing it. Because the cost of acquisition is so low that this is a place where I wouldn't waste my time, I'd spend my money. and I would then use that time that I used to be surfing in Traffic Splash to surf at Click Crazy to get the cost of acquisition down. Now you see how this works, and how if you know all these programs and the way that they and all these figures and numbers, you can actually put together a coherent plan to use traffic exchanges for. Let's have a look at another one. Easy Hits for You. This is a new one actually. I've been testing it this month, and it's actually working out quite well. So 8,416 total page views, and divide that by the 22 people that have signed up. That is a new subscriber every 382 page views. Not quite as good as Traffic Splash. All right. In fact, it's double. But look at the number of total hits that is supplied. It's pretty much trebled. Well, no, 2.5. I mean, 2.5 times the amount of traffic that you can get from Easy Hits for You that you can from Traffic Splash. So the fact that it takes double the amount of credits to get a sign up is negated by the fact that they can deliver 2.5 to 3 times as much traffic. Okay, so the cost of acquisition is going to be the same or better on Easy Hits for You. Let's just work that out. 8,004, so that's $84. Cost $84 to run that, and we divide that by 22 people, and the cost of acquisition is about $3. Not too bad. So that would be a place again where I would just pile in credits, and actually, in fact, that's what I did. When I was looking at these stats this morning before we started this video, I saw that Easy Hits for You was delivering that much traffic and its cost of acquisition was quite low, and I actually went in and added more URLs in there because that's another way to up the amount of traffic that you get. Now again, so what would be the strategy with these two traffic exchanges? Well, in Traffic Splash, here's what I would do. I would log in and I would put I would use the maximum amount of URLs that I could use it in Traffic Splash on one single URL. Now, if you're a free member, you're allowed 3 URLs in rotation in Traffic Splash. Now, I wouldn't put 3 different ones on there. I'd put 3 exactly the same URLs in all 3 of those positions, okay, and add the credits in there. Now, if I was testing this as a free member and I saw the kind of cost of acquisition and the sign-up rate there at Traffic Splash, I'd want to put more than 3 URLs in there. So now here's what I need to do. My strategy for Traffic Splash, after joining free and testing it, would be I would immediately go and upgrade, because now I can put 10 URLs in there instead of 3. Again, up in the amount of traffic that they can create, deliver. And then I would split up. I would put 3 of those places would be on one program, one splash page. Another 3 would be on another splash page, and the other 3 on another splash page. So you've got 3 different splash pages rotating in Traffic Splash, or 3 different programs in there, but each one has 3 single URLs aligned to it to up the amount of credits. Because if you can triple the amount of delivery in Traffic Splash and double the amount of sales and sign-ups, you're still getting that cost of acquisition at a reasonable rate. Righty, so now I've promised you, and let's see if I can get out of this. And we've promised you another program which is not a traffic exchange. So we're going to look at the statistics in there, and go back to the slides. Now we've looked at now lifetime value. So that's just basically the cost of acquisition. If you spent $10 on credits and got 10 sign-ups, then the lifetime value there is $1. It's cost you $1 to get that person on your list. And then you need to find a program that on average pays you $2 for every person that you send there. That's how you work out the lifetime value. You don't just go promoting stuff that you like or like the sound of. You actually go and find programs that actually give you a result. And we'll look at things like Instant Squeeze Page Generator, things like, and he'll like to mention here, Programs like, let me see, Michael Rasmussen's emails exposed, or mini profit sites exposed, because that's a free to join program. Maybe Solomon Hodgkinson's Membership Millionaires. Again, they're free to join programs, but with a top quality one-time offer, downsell process involved. These guys know how to convert. We spend all our time working on the conversions for those websites, so we know what converts. So those are the types of programs that you immediately send to them on first startup, all right, in your email series, in order to get the amount of money up, or that lifetime value and customer cost down. Because let's be fair, if we can break even on the very first website that we take them to, if we have 3 or 4 similar programs with a similar system in the email series, and we make the same amount of money on each of those, we've actually made 4 or 5 times the amount of money the initial promotion cost us, and we still have those people on our list in order to do other promotions too. So that's a small insight into lifetime values. And a stack you can't control but is crucial. Actually, I'm going to be really mean here, and we're going to come back to this. We're going to tab back to HitsConnect and go through some of these stacks here, because this is not a traffic exchange. So therefore, nobody can say or level the accusation at me that, well, of course this is a traffic exchange, so they would they? And as is life, things are a little slow to process here. So let's go back to a stack you can't control but is crucial. So you get this early. How about that? Anybody know what that is? No, of course not. You can't answer me. You're on the other end of a DVD. So let's go straight into it. The one stat that really is crucial in traffic exchanges and how to pick them is how many new users are coming into the exchange every month. There's no way to find that out from your tracking. The TE owner needs to know that, and he needs to shout from the rooftops what that is. It's a huge factor in success with any TE. And remember, we said users join and surf for a while, then move on. Well, having an owner who is constantly bringing in new users to combat that attrition is the biggest reason an exchange becomes a hotspot. And it's the biggest reason why the ones that we looked at there in the original tracking service, Traffic Splash, Easy Hits for You, and we're going to go through the others, become a hotspot. Is because those owners are proactive, hugely proactive, in bringing new people into the traffic, into their exchange. Okay, right? I mean, some of the people that we're going to be talking about bring in 1,000+ people every month, new people. And it's that turnover of new people that make them hotspots. So those are the things that you need to look for and add into the puzzle with the tracking. Again, you can't track that yourself, but you can tell by looking at other parameters, which we'll go into, trust me, with other videos, and we'll come back to that too. Okay, right, so now we're here on Instant Squeeze Page Generator, non-traffic exchange. Let's just kind of look at the stats again. Oh, look. The same traffic exchanges that were successful in the other set of stats are successful here too. Look, Traffic Splash, Dragon Surf, Easy Hits for You, I Love Hits. Tim, that's actually one called Start Exchange. So let's go through and look at some of these numbers again. Click Crazy. Well, there's 2 parameters there because I got a bit crazy in there. Click Crazy, joke. So that's almost, again, high number, 10,000 people, very low unique, 500 people, but 6 signups. So again, Click Crazy has similar results for an entirely different program that we're promoting. And again, the answer is exactly the same. If you're going to use Click Crazy, then you should use a strategy of buying and surfing to bring down that cost of acquisition. But let's look at some of the others. Again, Traffic Splash, 24 signups on 3,500 page views. So these numbers are about the same, and the cost of acquisition is about the same. But I happen to know the cost, the lifetime value of a customer instant squeeze pager is higher than it is in AKH. It's up near $3.50. So now, if you're getting a new member for $1.50 or $2, with the cost of or lifetime value of a customer instant squeeze page generator being $3.50, it's almost double the profit on this particular program than it is on the other one. This is why I said to you about having, first of all, get them on your list for your squeeze page, and then take them through all of those programs that can actually give you a reasonable lifetime value. That's $2 and $3 and maybe $4 or $5, and some of the things that I outlined will do that for you. Again, let's take a look at some of the others. Dragon Surf, we haven't mentioned that too much. And if we look up here, Dragon, almost 2,000 page views, so that would have cost us $20 in credits and 20 sign-ups. $1 it's cost us, if we buy the credits in Dragon Surf, okay, it costs us about $1 per person to sign up in Instant Squeeze Page Generator, and on average, Instant Squeeze Page Generator generates about $3.50 per person that you send through there. So right now, Dragon Surf would be a huge hotspot. I'd want to go there now and pile in as many credits as I could and as many URLs again. So the strategy is the same. I would go to Dragon Surf. I've tested it as a free member. I would now go to Dragon Surf and I'd upgrade in order to be able to put more URLs in there, and I'd buy a load of credits. Would I surf in Dragon Surf? No. It's not worth my surf time. I can just buy the credits and leave it, because the cost of acquisition is so low because it's so responsive that I don't need to waste my time surfing in there. Again, Soren will probably get upset with me over that because he needs people surfing in there, but what we're talking about here is dominating traffic exchanges. So let's go and look at some of the others. So again, it's the same strange strategy in Click Crazy. I'd probably buy and surf in there. And if we look at Tim, which is Start Exchange, 1,777 page views, 10 signups. Now that cost me $17 and 10 signups. So if we do the math again, $17 divided by 10, cost of acquisition is $1.70. In a program that's making me $3 on average, $3 or more on average for every person I sign up. Again, I'd pile credits in there. And again, I wouldn't surf, I'd buy. So are there any situations where you would surf and not buy? Yes, the answer is yes. We've given an example of Click Crazy where you would surf and buy. But it may well be that that there are some traffic exchanges that you test where the cost of acquisition is even. Okay, so that may be one of the cases where you would go in there and surf. If you're one of those people that want to cut down the cost of what they're purchasing, that's fine. So look for those traffic exchanges where that cost of acquisition and lifetime customer is about even. That would be the place where if I was going to surf, that would be where I would surf. And then you can spend and concentrate your time on those on less traffic exchanges, as we were talking about with the putty plan, remember. You don't need to be in all of them. Okay, so let's get out of the stats because I've kind of waffled on a lot there. And get back to the stat you can't control. Having an owner who is constantly bringing in new users to combat that attrition is the biggest reason an exchange becomes a hotspot. We've come to the end of this video section, but let me just say, in order to, how would you find out those traffic exchange owners? Well, that would be something we're actually going to talk about in another video, surprise, surprise, but I'll give you the short version. The short version is the networking. You need to be using, remember we gave you free resources, we gave you access to a net marketing forum. We also gave you access to the SWAT conference room on Wednesday evenings, and we also gave you free entry into my own paid forum at Forum Know-How. Those are the places where you're going to learn the kind of stuff about which traffic exchange owner is proactive, because they're going to be in there bragging about, we brought in 800 people this month and 1,000 people this month. That's not difficult to find out. But we'll go into that, in more depth. But that's one of the things you need to be looking at. And now it's time to take a leak and get a drink, and we'll be back later. Thanks for listening.